Dolly Parton's husband, Carl Dean, sadly passed away on March 3rd in Nashville, Tennessee at the age of 82. The pair were married for nearly 60 years. So what was the secret to their nearly 6-decade marriage?
You have a secret song locked away in Dollywood that will be released in 2045.
That's the truth.
Carl Dean was country music's greatest mystery for nearly 6 decades. A husband who lived entirely in the shadows while Dolly Parton dazzled the world. No interviews, no red carpet moments, no tell-all stories. Just whispers, rumors, and endless speculation.
Some people think Carl just doesn't even exist.
Oh, I know. A lot of people have felt that through the years because he does not want to be in the spotlight at all.
But now, after a lifetime of silence, Carl's final letter has surfaced, confirming everything fans have ever wondered. What was he hiding? What truths did he finally reveal? This revelation is rewriting the love story of one of music's most private yet enduring couples. Let's find out. The enigma of Dolly and Carl. For nearly 60 years, Carl Dean was one of country music's greatest mysteries. A man married to one of the most famous women in the world, yet invisible to the public eye. While Dolly Parton dazzled on stage with her rhinestone-studded outfits and magnetic personality, Carl remained a shadowy figure, a name whispered but rarely seen. Now, with his passing at the age of 82, the man behind the mystery is once again the center of intrigue.
On Monday, the country artist announced on Instagram that her beloved husband of nearly 60 years had passed away at the age of 82.
And this time, Dolly is finally pulling back the curtain. Just a little. On March 3rd, Carl Dean passed away in Nashville, leaving behind a legacy as understated as his wife's was dazzling. In a heartfelt Instagram post, Dolly thanked fans for their overwhelming support, writing, "This is a love note to family, friends, and fans. Thank you for all the messages, cards, and flowers that you've sent to pay your respects for the loss of my beloved husband, Carl. He is in God's arms now, and I am okay with that." But it was her final words that left hearts aching. "I will always love you." Dolly revealed that Carl's funeral would be a private ceremony, attended only by close family. It is a fitting farewell for a man who spent his life avoiding the limelight. While he is survived by his siblings, Sandra and Donnie, for most, Carl remains more legend than reality. A man so elusive that some questioned if he ever truly existed. But Carl Dean was very real. His love story with Dolly began in the most ordinary of places, a Nashville laundromat in 1964. She was 18, fresh off the bus and ready to chase her dreams. He was 21, a quiet man with no desire for fame. The moment they met, Carl knew exactly what he wanted and what he didn't. "I love you," he told Dolly, "but I have no interest in being in the spotlight." And he meant it. True to his word, Carl spent the next 6 decades avoiding cameras, red carpets, and interviews. While Dolly conquered the world with her music, Carl was content staying behind the scenes. There were no Hollywood appearances, no reality show cameos, just pure, old-fashioned invisibility. And yet, the mystery surrounding Carl only grew.
Carl was notoriously known for staying out of the spotlight, and the two lived a simple life outside of Dolly's glamorous work.
His absence fueled wild conspiracy theories. Some insisted he was a fictional character, a clever cover story for a superstar who wanted to appear married. Others believed there was trouble behind closed doors. After all, how does a marriage survive when one partner is constantly in the public eye while the other refuses to leave the house? Yet, against all odds, Dolly and Carl made it work. Maybe it was their shared sense of humor. Maybe it was an unspoken understanding that their love didn't need to be displayed for the world to see. Or maybe, just maybe, it was because they never had to argue about whose turn it was to post on Instagram. In one rare interview, Dolly laughed about Carl's reluctance to see her perform. "He only came to one show," she admitted. Afterward, he told me, "I'm never going again. I'm not standing in line for hours to watch you sing when I can hear you just fine on the radio. But what made their love story so enduring? Fate, devotion, or something deeper? Stay tuned to uncover the truth. The man who loved Dolly Parton from the shadows. While Dolly became one of the most celebrated figures in entertainment, Carl remained a mystery, a shadow behind the star, perfectly content to love her from a distance. Their love story began in 1964 in a setting as ordinary as any, a laundromat in Nashville. Dolly was just 18, fresh-faced and determined to chase her dreams, while Carl, 21, was a quiet and hard-working road construction worker. He had no interest in the entertainment industry, yet from the moment he saw her, something clicked. "I knew right then and there that I was going to marry her," Carl once admitted.
At that time when we got married in 1966, I was working for a label. They didn't want me to get married because they'd invested a lot of money, so they asked if I'd wait. I thought, I ain't waiting. So we found a little church and a preacher that would marry us there in this little church.
True to his word, 2 years later, on May 30th, 1966, they exchanged vows in a simple ceremony in Ringgold, Georgia. There were no flashing cameras, no grand celebrations, just two young lovers starting a life together. But what followed was a decision that left the world puzzled. While Dolly rose to stardom, Carl chose a life of complete privacy. He never attended music industry events, never walked the red carpet, and rarely appeared in photos. When Dolly begged him to accompany her to an awards show in 1967, he reluctantly agreed, dressing in a rented tuxedo. But the night left him so uncomfortable that he vowed never to attend such an event again, and he never did. Instead of basking in his wife's fame, Carl found happiness in simplicity. He ran his own asphalt business, laying roads and parking lots across Tennessee. He enjoyed tinkering with old trucks and tractors, fixing them up and selling them. While Dolly traveled the world, he preferred the quiet life at home, often joking that he didn't want her around too much because it interfered with his work. The world couldn't understand how a marriage like theirs worked. Rumors swirled. Was Carl unsupportive? Was there trouble in their relationship? Did he even exist? Some fans even believed he was nothing more than a figment of Dolly's imagination. But those who truly knew them understood that their bond was built on something deeper than public appearances. Dolly often said that their secret to a happy marriage was independence. She had her career, and he had his life. "Maybe that's why we never fight," she once laughed. Carl never tried to dim Dolly's star, and she never forced him into the spotlight. Their love was built on trust, respect, and a mutual understanding that they didn't need to do everything together to be deeply connected. He was her biggest supporter, but he preferred cheering her on from their home near Nashville, rather than from the front row at her concerts. Despite his aversion to fame, Carl was always in Dolly's heart.
Dolly Parton speaking out after the death of her husband of nearly 60 years, Carl Dean.
I love the old guy. He's the only one I've ever wanted and the only one I'll ever have, I'm sure.
She often spoke about him in interviews, sharing amusing anecdotes about their private life. He refused to have his picture displayed at Dollywood, her famous theme park, as he wished to visit unnoticed. When she offered rare glimpses of him to fans, they were thrilled, because those moments were few and far between. Dolly Parton, born on January 19, 1946 in Locust Ridge, Tennessee, built a career that spanned over 6 decades. She released her debut album, Hello, I'm Dolly, in 1967, kicking off a legendary journey that saw her sell over 100 million records worldwide. With 25 #1 singles on the Billboard country charts and 44 top 10 country albums, she became one of the most successful female artists in the genre's history. Her songwriting genius has produced timeless classics like Jolene, 9 to 5, and I Will Always Love You, the latter of which became a global phenomenon when Whitney Houston re-recorded it for the Bodyguard soundtrack. Beyond music, Dolly made her mark in Hollywood, starring in hit films such as 9 to 5 in 1980, Steel Magnolias in 1989, and Joyful Noise in 2012, earning Golden Globe nominations along the way. She has been honored with 11 Grammy Awards, multiple Country Music Association awards, and even a place in both the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Her philanthropy through the Dollywood Foundation has changed countless lives, funding literacy programs and supporting underprivileged communities in Tennessee. Through all of this, Carl remained the constant in her life, the man who loved her not for her fame, but for who she was at home. Their relationship, unconventional by Hollywood standards, has lasted nearly 60 years, proving that love doesn't need an audience to be real.
He was the love of her life, ultra-private, rarely seen in public.
He's funny. He makes me laugh a lot.
One half of an astonishingly rare showbiz marriage, far away from the spotlight.
But what was the real inspiration behind her greatest hits? Fame, love, or something unexpected? Stay tuned to find out. The muse behind the music. Few figures in music history have remained as invisible yet influential as Carl Thomas Dean. Though he never stepped onto a stage or played a single instrument, his presence can be felt throughout Dolly Parton's towering musical catalog. To the casual listener, Jolene might sound like a song about a beautiful woman stealing someone's man, but the story runs deeper. In 2008, Dolly revealed that the famous plea, "Please don't take my man," was inspired by a real-life bank teller who had developed a crush on Dean. Rather than being upset, Dolly found the situation amusing. It even became an inside joke between them, especially when she teased him about his frequent visits to the bank. Though the lyrics convey jealousy, the strength of their marriage allowed Dolly to transform the experience into one of her most beloved songs. Early in their marriage, Carl's curiosity about Dolly's past relationships unexpectedly sparked another song. When he asked about her previous boyfriends, she answered honestly, but his reaction was less than thrilled. Instead of letting it create tension, Dolly turned the moment into creative fuel, leading to her bold feminist anthem, "Just Because I'm a Woman." Released in 1968, the song challenged the double standards between men and women, with Dolly singing, "My mistakes are no worse than yours, just because I'm a woman." This deeply personal moment between husband and wife became one of country music's earliest feminist statements, shaping her reputation as a fearless storyteller. Throughout the 1970s, their relationship continued to inspire Dolly's music. Songs like "Say Forever, You'll Be Mine," and "Tomorrow is Forever" captured the promises of young love, reflecting the early years of their marriage. Unlike many celebrity couples whose relationships fade, Dolly and Carl's bond remained strong for nearly 6 decades. When they renewed their vows for their 50th anniversary in 2016, the milestone inspired an entire album.
Dolly, you're celebrating 50 years.
Yeah, almost. It's his first marriage and mine. And that's saying a lot to be in this business, but it's great. And he's a good man. He's kind of a homebody. He didn't want to go out there.
Pure and Simple was filled with love songs that explored the different shades of their relationship, from youthful passion to the deep connection that had endured for so many years. To Dolly, their love had always been pure and simple, a sentiment that shaped her music. Perhaps the most unexpected way Carl influenced Dolly's career came in 2023, when she made a surprising leap into rock music. Known as a country legend, Dolly had spent years surrounded by Carl's deep love for rock and roll. His passion for the genre left a lasting impression on her, and eventually, it gave her the final push to step outside her comfort zone. The result was Rockstar, an album that paid tribute to the music Carl had always loved. Beyond music, Carl's unwavering support provided Dolly with a sense of stability amid fame. Their shared sense of humor kept their marriage strong. Dolly often said that their ability to laugh through anything was the secret to their lasting love. As they approached their 60th anniversary in 2024, Carl's health began to decline. During this time, Dolly quietly wrote, "If You Hadn't Been There," a song she would later release after his passing. Its heartfelt lyrics reflected on the profound impact he had on her life. Through 6 decades of Parton's career, Carl Dean remained the unseen foundation of her world, not as a business partner or creative collaborator, but as the steady center of her personal life. When the rhinestones and spotlights faded, how did this ultra-private couple spend their time together? Dolly Parton's husband's final letter confirmed all rumors. The letter sat on the nightstand, neatly folded, its edges slightly worn as if Carl Dean had traced them with his fingers one last time. It wasn't meant for the world. It was meant for her, for the woman who had carried his heart through 6 decades of love, laughter, and quiet devotion. Dolly Parton had always been the shining light, the voice that filled stadiums, but in the stillness of their home, she was simply his Dolly. And in his final words, Carl left behind the kind of truth that confirmed what many had long suspected. Their love was far deeper than what the public ever knew. Carl's words painted a picture of a man who had lived his life in the shadows, not because he didn't adore his wife's fame, but because his love didn't need an audience. He wrote of the quiet mornings they spent together, the simple moments that mattered most, watching her hum a tune over breakfast, the way her laughter filled the room, the comfort of knowing she was always just a heartbeat away. If he had more time, he wrote, he wouldn't change a thing, except to love her even more, hold her even longer, and steal a few more sunrises with her by his side.
Carl Dean, the husband of well-renowned singer Dolly Parton, has died. The music icon confirmed his death in a statement posted on social media. It says in part, "Words can't do justice to the love we shared."
For years, speculation surrounded their marriage. The world struggled to understand how a man so private could be the soulmate of a woman so larger than life. Some thought their love was unconventional. Others questioned if he even existed. But those closest to them knew the truth. Carl Dean was the steady presence in Dolly's whirlwind world, the anchor that kept her grounded. And in his final letter, he made it clear, if given the chance, he would choose her all over again, every single time. His words carried no regrets, no sorrow, only gratitude. Gratitude for the life they built, for the love that never wavered, for the way she made even the quietest days feel like a grand adventure. He spoke of the first time he saw her outside that Nashville laundromat in 1964, how he knew in an instant that she was the one. "I've loved you every day since," he wrote, "and I'd love you for 100 more if I had the chance." Carl reminisced about their private world, a life far from the flashing cameras and roaring crowds. He wrote about the long drives on back roads, the nights spent on their Tennessee porch, where the only sound was the whisper of the wind and the soft strumming of her guitar. He confessed that while the world saw him as a mystery, his greatest joy had been being known by her. She was his best friend, his safe haven, the love of his life. Dolly held the letter close, knowing this was Carl's way of staying with her, of making sure she never doubted the depth of what they shared. He had spent a lifetime avoiding the spotlight, but in these final words, he left behind a love story so powerful, so undeniable, that no rumor could ever overshadow it. And for the first time, the world finally saw Carl Dean, not just as Dolly Parton's mystery husband, but as the man who loved her in a way no one else ever could. But what do you think Carl's final words truly revealed? Was it devotion, a hidden truth, or something deeper? We'd like to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.